If I had to start Muay Thai all over again, knowing what I know now, I wouldn't necessarily do everything differently. In fact, I actually got a few things right early on. But the things I didn't fully understand at the time, those are things that made the biggest difference for my training trajectory. Because when you first start Muay Thai, it's really easy to focus on all the wrong things. There's so much going on, and I get it, right? You chase the wrong goals, you measure progress the wrong way, comparing yourself to others, like we've talked about. You misunderstand what actually matters. So today, I want to break down what I would do and what I would double down on, what I would fix, and what actually moves the needle if you're starting Muay Thai today.
Episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast is brought to you by pmtlifestyle.com. Authentic Muay Thai lifestyle by Pu'u. Definitely go check out the website at pmtlifestyle.com for some awesome lifestyle merchandise. That's for those of you out there either involved in Muay Thai, looking at getting involved in Muay Thai, and embrace a healthier lifestyle to live the life of the Nok Muay. Go check it out.
I want to talk about Black Room at Deep Studios. If you enjoy the content of this podcast, you will definitely enjoy the value that you get out of the Black Room and being a member of the Black Room. What it is it's a subscriber-based way to support the podcast. If you enjoy the podcast and want it to continue, I'm asking for your help. And in exchange, you're going to get an underground view of Muay Thai, American Muay Thai, as well as within Thailand. We have people who are now working on the ground in Thailand that are helping us get media, content, all that stuff. We're posting it there on Black Room, as well as behind the scenes footage of the podcast recordings when we're recording. After I stop recording for stuff that we broadcast, we put some subscriber based only content on there. So you're going to really get a lot of value out of that subscription. Okay. It's not just supporting the podcast. We also have podcast subscriber only merchandise that's coming out as well here in 2024. So you have to be a part of the Black Room in order to get access to that. So I'm asking you for your help on that, but I know that it's not so much of you helping me. It's going to be us giving you a ton of value that you're going to get and just enjoy it. And it's only $5 a month. All right. You can cancel it anytime. Every little bit counts. Please go join it. The link is down in the show notes. All right. Anyways, sit back and enjoy the show. Sawadee Cup. My name is Jonathan Pu'u. I'm the founder of Pu'u Muay Thai, the host of the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast. I've been involved in Muay Thai for close to 2 decades now as a student, fighter, coach, run an academy, and a Muay Thai ring official. And looking back at my early years, there are a few things that helped me stay in Muay Thai for the long term, and a few things that slowed me down that I didn't fully understand at the time. One thing I actually got right early on was consistency. I trained about 2-3 times per week, sometimes more, but in general, 2-3 times a week. I showed up. I kept it simple. I would make sure to stay a little bit afterwards, just practicing on my kick, trying to get that down, get my hips opened up. And looking back, that's one of the biggest reasons I stayed long-term in Muay Thai, because consistency beats intensity every time. I wasn't throwing like rapid fire kicks wrong or anything. I was just really slow, throwing one kick, just really trying to get all my mechanics set up properly. And a lot of people, they try to go all in. They train every day. They push themselves to the limit, they're forcing technique and then disappear after a few weeks. I didn't do that. And that made a huge difference for my progress. Another thing I did right, I didn't try to learn everything all at once. Like I said, I focused on just my kick. I focused on one thing at a time. I listened to my coaches. I didn't try to outthink the whole process. And that's something I see beginners really struggle with now. They're trying to stack techniques, combinations. I'm Muay from you. I'm Muay Ma. I'm Muay Kao. Dude, just focus on your basics. All right. They're focused on different styles, all these different things. Just focus on your basics. But Muay Thai doesn't reward how much you know. It rewards how well you can execute those basics. That's why I said basics, basics, basics. This is another one that helped me more than I realized at the time I wasn't constantly comparing myself to other people, right? We talked about this. It's a recurring theme, right? If you've been listening to this podcast for a while, I wasn't worried about who was better than me, right? Or, who was progressing faster. I didn't care. And that saved me from a lot of mental frustration because comparison can completely derail your progress from Muay Thai and any skill, really. Everyone comes in with a different background, different bodies, different goals. And if you stay in your own lane, you just tend to improve faster. I also didn't come in with the mindset of, I want to fight. I want to fight. How soon can I fight, coach? I didn't have the mindset of I need to fight right away. That was like the complete last reason why I got started. And I think that's actually what, people who I first started with were always shocked when I actually was fighting fairly consistently. I actually got signed up for a fight by one of my training partners. We had a smoker. Like that's like an in-gym event, in-gym training event, or in-gym like competition with other gyms. Some, if you live from Europe, you might know these as interclubs. And I didn't want to do it. I didn't sign up for it, but I decided, hey, you know what? I'll rise to that challenge. My coach said and encouraged me to do it as well. So I said, okay, I'll do it. It wasn't something I was chasing, especially early on. It wasn't something like, I'm going to be a fighter. As a matter of fact, a lot of the people that I see that say that tend to be the ones that don't ever actually fight. Just saying. And looking back, I think that helped me because I was focused on learning, not improving something. I just, wanted to not feel like I was getting beat up all the time in sparring. Back then when I started, they had to spar the first day, which was dumb in hindsight, completely dumb. And I think a lot of people rushed that part, right? They're wanting to be the best. I want to be the best, right? For me, I was just like, man, how do I not get beat up like this all the time? Because I was having people tee off on me, man. And they tie their identity to fighting too early. These people that go in there that want to, like, fighting is a very small part of training and skill development. And they're focusing on this fighting stuff instead of focusing on building skill. Like, I need to learn combinations. I need to learn these techniques, jump knees, flying knees, spin back elbows. No. Focus on just your basics. Simple, right? Don't focus on fighting. All right. And now here's the part that I learned that I didn't understand. This is something that took me a while. People would always tell me this, but I don't think people realize how much like shit I had going on in the background. And this is a big one. It's recovery. I trained consistently. I listened, especially to my coaches, and I did a lot of things right. But I didn't respect recovery the way I should have. And that slowed me down big time. And here's the reality. Training breaks your body down. You have miles on your body. Recovery is what actually builds it back up after skill development, right? Your nervous system, you have to recover. And if you're always sore, always tired, always fatigued, always pushing through fatigue, you're not progressing the way you think you are. Yeah, you're building some mental toughness. That's great. But to do that all the time is just not the way. You're just accumulating stress on your body and your nervous system. Most people think that they need to train harder, but what they actually need is to recover better. Now, what does that look like? I didn't know what it was, and it really depends. But for me, I could have done more with trying to get better quality sleep around my training sessions. I actually had very loud neighbors when I was living in North Hollywood that prevented this from happening. They'd keep me up in the middle of the night smoking weed, laughing, yelling, and literally it's like their room where they're doing this is right behind my head, and keep me up in the middle of the night. And I'd be, we had professional dancers upstairs also and we had a living room downstairs where even if I went down there, the whole place would shake because it'd be practicing dancing. Freaking, I'm like, dude, are you trying out for Stomp at 1:00 in the morning, right? And they'd just keep me up in the middle of the night like that, and it was terrible, man. And I would just be dragging my behind all day the next day, and I was also pretty underfueled a lot of times as I was, really fighting my natural weight as this natural weight gain and muscle mass as I aged. When I first competed, I was competing at 132, 135 pounds. Combine the lack of nutrition, the high intensity training consistently twice a day, the lack of sleep, working, It's no wonder I would get tendinitis and other types of injuries associated with, overtraining, or what people associate with overtraining. I wasn't necessarily overtraining though. I was more or less under recovering. And that's something that I would take much more seriously if I started over today and focused on figuring it out. Stuff like having earplugs, sleep masks, noise cancellation, these things that like we have more access to, which we didn't really have then. That's something that I would have invested more. I would have figured out a way to just make it happen, because looking back, that affected my mental health, my sanity, my recovery, and my performance too. All right. It's important. Figure that shit out. All right. If I could change one thing that I would do, I would just really invest more in the community around me as well. I had a great community, looking back on it, because I had good training partners. I had a good environment, but I didn't fully understand how important that was. Now I know. The people around you are one of the biggest factors in whether you stay in Muay Thai or not. They push you, they support you, and they keep you accountable. Like when I wanted to quit, I've talked about this, when I wanted to quit Muay Thai. My training partners did not let me quit. All right. If I understood that earlier, I would have leaned into it a lot more, into that community. I don't know if that's just something that comes with age and understanding people, all right, and what you got, and like looking back and realizing how good you actually had it. And, given I was usually the youngest guy in the group, I was always the small, young guy that was in the group. I was the one that's probably like, hey, there's somebody who's least likely to fight and stay and open a gym. That would have been me. All right. Just to put that out there for everyone. If I had just one mindset shift to starting over, it would be this, really. Like outside of the community and recovery stuff, I'm doing this for years, not months. So who are the people that are supporting you right now? Who are the people that are giving back? I'm going to give my time to them, the communities, the gym, right? Because that changes everything. You stop rushing, you stop forcing progress, you stop chasing quick results, and you start respecting the process. You're here for a long time, not a short time. And Muay Thai rewards people who stay. Being first in the gym and last in the gym, but being able to do that consistently is good. It doesn't reward people who rush things. You got to be more relaxed, right? So if I had to start Muay Thai over again today, I wouldn't flip everything upside down and do everything differently. I'll double down on what actually mattered. Consistency, listening to my coaches and the people that actually mattered, and staying in my lane. And I fix the things that slowed me down. Recovery, all right, learning how to recover better, and community, and long-term thinking, of course. Because Muay Thai isn't about something you figure out quickly. It's something that builds over time. So that's going to be it for today's episode, but I'm curious about you. If you could restart your Muay Thai journey, what would you do differently? If you're on YouTube, drop it down in the comments. If you're listening to this on the podcast, then, give me a call, 805-456-3316. You can also shoot me a text. Let me know. You can also comment on Instagram at Muay Thai Podcast. And if you're just starting, hopefully this gives you a little clear picture of what actually matters in Muay Thai and your progress and your journey, right? If you're thinking, I need to fight, believe me, I've been in this for almost 2 decades. Don't be that guy. It's good to be like that and have that drive, but show it with your actions. And make sure you're subscribed to the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast for more conversations about training, mindset, and staying in art long enough for it to work. With that said, too, we have a new Muay Thai global roundtable that's coming up. I'm really excited about this. The people that we're working on with this, I'm not going to mention who it is. If you're following us on Instagram, you might see me tagging and sharing some of these people a little bit more. But I'm really excited about this. A true awesome network of people to talk about Muay Thai here on Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast and on their platforms as well. All right, so stay tuned for that. And with that said, I will see you in the next episode. All right, that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in today to the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast. If you enjoy the content, go leave a review over on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. Give us a rating. It means the world to us. Also, if you want to be a guest on the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast, Or if you just want to shout out to your friend, go check us out at podcast.pu'umuaythai.com. You can submit to be able to be a guest on the podcast. You can submit what you want to talk about. Also, if you want to just give a shout out, there's a button for that too. Sawadee Kop.